think we'll spend a few minutes and just let people come in here. It might be a few minutes because of the change in the room number. Not sure if everyone gets promoted to panelists in this group, or I think we're just, if anybody wants to be promoted to panelists, just put your hand up. I think it's probably the best way.
If you have another 14 attenders, maybe.
So do we usually bring them all in as panelists in this group? I guess I will. I'll just promote them. Let's see how it goes.
Danny Mo is one that normally works the testimonials, and she also translates from the German, so she's always got to be at hand.
Well, I think she's phasing out of this job, so myself is, I'm the host today, so we'll just have to wing it and try to remind me if I'm not doing things correctly, or I'm just promoting everyone to a panelist. I'm not sure if that's the correct way to do it, but I'll do that anyway.
Rick, I would just recommend that you run it the way you would with any of the other publics. That's all. You know, whatever you're comfortable with, since she's not available.
You manage your reactor group very well, so you shouldn't have any problem here.
Day by day, it's more people using this channel for seeing what's happening in this technology.
Thank you, Dan. Okay, so we're broadcasting, and
Most
Danny's having trouble getting in or something. I'm not sure. I'll give her an invite. Maybe that's the problem. She can't connect.
Who's this?
Danny can't connect.
Danny Mo. If you need a co-host, don't hesitate and put me
Okay,
up.
thank you, John. I'll do that. Okay, well, there's some conflict with the admins on this channel, I believe, because she can't connect on the public channel anymore. Okay, well, maybe she can connect in a different way. And she's also opened the previous room number so that to direct people to this room. And just to let people know, there's a new Zoom room number for the public testimonials. It's 939-474-503.
And we've got another Zoom update also.
Yep. Okay. Okay, let's get started here. Let me make the announcement. This is the 23rd public meeting for testimonials. Share your plasma experience in any language. I'm your host, Rick Crammond, and this is a broadcast of the public teachings of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And in this particular class, we listen to testimonials, as you might imagine from the title, Public Meeting for Testimonials. And do we have anybody who would like to go first here to present their testimonial? Is there any?
Rick, can I jump in just 1 second?
Sure.
I'm not seeing a red dot and your cloud. Are you recording?
Oh, I thought it would. You're right.
Put it on your machine, yeah.
I thought it would do that.
I'm putting it up. You beat me to it. Yeah.
Okay, so we're recording to the cloud now. And let me restart the beginning here. So welcome everyone to the 23rd public meeting for testimonials. Share your plasma experience in any language. And I'm your host, Rick Crammond, today. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute, public teachings in English. And we welcome people from all languages of planet Earth to come to this meeting and present your testimonial of the plasma technology And provided we have a translator, an English translator, so that the English people can understand your presentation. Okay, I think we're ready to begin here. Is there anyone who would like to go first to begin today's show? Got a couple more attendees I'll promote to panelists here. Okay, so it's time to present your testimonials. Is there someone who would like to go first with a testimonial?
I see some Spanish-speaking people. Buenas tardes a los que dominan el español. Así que si necesitan traducción, estoy disponible. ¿Qué tal, Vicente?
Well, surely there must be someone. Hello, Victor, is it?
Yes.
Would you like to say something at this point?
He's a Spanish-speaking bloke. I gave him an introduction in Spanish and said hello to him. ¿Qué tal, Vicente? ¿Querés dar algún testimonial?
No, no. Es escucharlo solo.
Fenómeno.
Just a minute.
¿Querés dar algún testimonial?
There we go.
Es escucharlo solo.
Nothing there?
Oh, he just wants to listen.
Okay. Well, hopefully there'll be something to listen to here. We have to have someone go ahead with the testimonials in order to begin the show. If there's no one with any testimonials, then we'll have to close down, I suppose.
I break the ice. I don't know. It's not, I don't say important, but it's two jars of gas. One, one in the bottom, another in top. Gold and I think it's gold. It's making with gold. And another in the bottom is CO2. Gold, it's bubbling. I have another phone video, but I try sharing. Perhaps it's better for seeing something. Okay, screen. Okay, let me try. It's from another phone. I have this jar. I don't know sound. I don't have the sound. For seeing in top it's gold, gas gold. In the bottom it's CO2. CO2, it's clear, nothing happens. In this, in top,
Dan, can you hold the camera steady so we can see the pictures jumping all around every time you move the camera? It doesn't get clear until you hold it steady.
I try to, okay, let me try in this way. Okay, let me another, okay, in this way. It's a jumping from how to is recording. Okay.
Oh, this is a video, I see. Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's I looking at it's strange because I think no, I put one jar in top and for seeing how to is moving. I have two layers, gas in the bottom and in surface. It's like no amino acid. Another layer is just for seeing. I don't understand what is how interact this, but for me,
is it bubbles we see coming up from the gold GANs, or is it white sort of amino acid or something?
It's also a bubble and a piece of gas. You see, I have another video. I turn it upside down. This and it's composed also in this way. I try to make another. This is position. This no. Let me. Yes. This is. Oops. I turning. You see. This jar it's upside down. It's also same movement. It's not very clear because with eyes, with eye, it's but this sunshine is helping for seeing better this movement. It's not very concludent, but it's you're seeing movement in the reactor. It's not reactor, it's only plasma water and gas. Interact. CO2 in the bottom and gold in top. This is it for now.
All right, well, that's interesting. How did you make your gold GANs, Dan?
I nano-coat one earring of my wife, one piece, and I have two pieces. One is go normally, and another I nano-coat with caustic. I know the gold is not attack only from regular water, but I nano-coat. I put it in the caustic, but not hot. This hydroxide, yes, caustic.
Cold caustic in the
Yes.
vapors.
No, not in the vapor. I put in from 2 hours inside of caustic and one bag of plastic, no, in vapor in the sun. I let in, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours and change the color. It's not goldy. Goldy is like I don't know. It's changing the color and putting this piece together in the salt water and making this gas.
Okay.
It's not important.
You might have some other elements in there too, because the earring won't be 24 karat gold. It's probably 14 karat or something like that.
Yes,
So you'll
I
have
think it
some
is
silver.
some like amalgam, like composite. I think.
Yeah, yeah, usually because the 24 karat's too soft. Pure gold is is too soft usually for jewelry, and it'll tend to bend or fall apart or scratch too easy.
For me, it's important like a gravitation, like a mass, atomic mass. And for making guns, it's not important what type of guns. It's more gravitational, it's more heavy. It's for obtain interact with another element. It's not important it's gold or not. It's for understanding how to work with elements.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
So nano-coated gold, similar to the way you would do a zinc plate, very mild solution?
It's not the same solution of nanocoat of copper and zinc. No, it's the same. It's the same solution. And I think this color is because of residual weight is inside of this called nanocoat.
I was just thinking if you fire coated the gold for nano coating, would that work or would just melt?
I don't try. I don't have it try, but I asked my wife, give me another piece of gold from earring.
Makes sense that it's difficult to nano coat gold because it doesn't tend to oxidize. It doesn't tend to react normally. When it's found in nature, it's pure, bright, and shiny. It's not. It doesn't tend to corrode. That's the big thing about it. So it might be difficult to get a nano coating on it, especially fire coating, because it will tend to melt at a lower temperature than copper as well.
It's important the temperature and distance what you use. When you see it's just passing with the flame, I think more and more. And
no, gold melts in a very much higher temperature. It'll tend to go to like the copper is red, but or emanate light. But you got to get it over white, and it's got to go over 800, 900 degrees to melt.
Yeah, I think copper is 11 or 1200, something like that. Okay, so anything else about that, or shall we go to the next?
go into the next step.
All right. So is there someone else? There's Maria. Pardon me. Sorry.
Sorry, Rick. Just to adjust this point. Gold it goes with above 1,000 Celsius to melt.
Celsius, you mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's about 1,050, 1,100, I think, like this.
1,064 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
And copper is 1,085. So they're both very close, actually. But they just have different reactions when normally you don't get a coating on gold when it's heated up and cooled down and so on.
You got many other combinations also with other metals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. White gold is platinum, and they've got black gold. It's got iridium and some other combinations.
Yeah, and it's commonly mixed with copper or silver as well. And it can be mixed with mercury if you have a gold filling or gold tooth. Okay, so much for gold. Let's move on here. I understand Maria has something she would like to present.
Yes, good evening to you all. I have something we need every day. This is around water, and I want to show you something. So hopefully it will open now. Yes. If you have a water bottle or anything like this, and put around your food ganses and other items, also some coated copper coils, and under this so I have a big copper plate here under, then above a pad with CO2 only, and the coated triskelium, and put the water bottle over it. And so when you have a look into the water bottle, then you see rosen quartz. I don't know the name for rosen quartz, and also black crystal, rock crystal, I think. And this is CO2 zinc oxide gans with water, and this is Russian edelshungit. I don't know if you know this edelshungit, the Russian, and also.
Is that the shungite, what people call shungite?
Okay, shungite, yes, and also the guns of it, and then put clear water in it. So I take always from the mountain good water, put it into, and you have a power around. You can feel if you take the hands around and you feel the warmth, and it's so amazing. And you put an apple over it, and after a few hours you feel it. It's wonderful, and the water smells so good. It's really, really good. And Evelyn has also from Austria, she has also a water bottle, but there is shining light in it. So amazing, wonderful. That's all what I want to show you. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria, because you are remember to me these days I'm making wine, no? And I see it's the same technology, Keshe technology, transferring in field. You have the fruit in the water, and you transfer this field. And this cup of light, we go with so many GaNs in surrounding this glass with water. You have a power field, and you approach from totality plasma. You cover very large range of field inside. Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
This is Marius from Romania, and I would like to present two videos done by Mr. Adrian Folteanu, in which he shows us how other materials, such as wood or aluminium, can interact with magnets after they were submerged in deuterium water. So I can...
Sounds great. Do you want to share a video or screen share?
Yes, I can share a video, a screen share, if I may.
Okay, I might have to give permission. Let's see here.
I think I have it.
Yeah, I think I have to allow to start the video, maybe.
Yes, I have put this very, right, okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we see it there.
Okay, I will play it and I will describe. Not sure if you can hear anything from the video, or at least it's not very loud. But this is a piece of wood that was kept in deuterium water for about 2 weeks. And it's suspended by a piece of rope and connected to a support. I think it's a wire support. And we will see how it interacts with magnets. So you see it's being attracted by the magnets. So now it's a little bit to settle, and then we can see again the interactions with the magnets. So this initially was regular wood, but it was just submerged in deuterium water for a couple of weeks. And that was about it for this experiment. It's easy after you create the deuterium against water.
Now, we see the magnet is attracted to both ends of the piece of wood, right? So it's like it doesn't have poles on it. It doesn't have a north and south to it, like it's like a magnet, but it's attracted to the wood. The magnet's north or south will be attracted to the wood. Is that the idea?
Yes, indeed. It doesn't have any poles. If you remember the gas ball or the ping pong balls that contain deuterium, and then water from inside just vanished, but the fields just remained inside. You hadn't got any poles for that ball. Same for this piece of wood, and the same for aluminium foil. It's not aluminium foil, it's a piece of aluminium. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
In the second video, I will play. So it's the same thing, same setup as before, but we have here a very small aluminium plate. Same, as far as I understood, All the materials were kept for about 2 weeks in this deuterium gas water in order to get this, I would say, gravitational properties.
Great envelope.
Yeah, so this is regular aluminium, and it's suspended by this support, to say. It's made of copper wire, but I think it matters less.
So, is there a coating of the GANs on the actual aluminum, or do you think it's been rinsed, or how would that be?
It was completely submerged, and it's the same procedure for all the elements. So it was completely submerged, and after being got out from the deuterium gas water, it was, I think, let for some time to rinse, of course, yes. But as far as I noticed, I think the wood was a bit wet. But for the aluminium, it's strange because it seems to be dry. But Mr. Adrian said it takes some time to change the initial properties of the material and to gain this magnetic or gravitational properties. So, so as far as I see here, it's pretty dry. It's a pretty dry piece of aluminium.
Looks like there's some kind of coating on it. It's got a bit of a color to it or something, it seems, but it's hard to tell. Yeah, very interesting.
Indeed, yes, and Mr. Adrian now is trying with different other materials, such as glass, and not sure if there is any other material. Probably at some point we will be able to find some small differences in interaction with different materials, but until now we were able to see just this interaction with the magnets.
Do you have any information as to, like, what would the GANS water, the deuterium GANS water, do when a magnet's put close to the surface of the water? Is the water actually attracted to the magnet? Does it stick to it? Is it hard to remove from the magnet?
No, it's not. As far as I know, and as I was being told, the water doesn't interact with the magnets. But after you...
Water does interact with magnets.
After some...
Well, water does to some extent in a minor way, yes, but I'm talking about similar to the GANS ball experiment where it's actually stuck to the magnet, and you would think with that strong of an attraction that the liquid would actually stick to the magnet. Might be hard to remove, like the what do you call it, the ferrofluid stuff that's made out of iron particles. Gets really messy and it sticks to all the magnets. It's hard to remove, and it seems different than the deuterium substance. So
I know what you are saying, but for example, if you make deuterium gas and you put it, let's say, all the content of the container into one big glass like this one, or bottle, in a big bottle, it doesn't interact with the magnet at this point. But after being placed into a magnetical field for about a minute, that water gained magnetical, or better said, gravitational properties. And then by submerging different materials into that water, you change the properties of those materials.
Now, I'm interested why you said you changed from magnetical to gravitational. You said it adds gravitational to it. Why wouldn't it be adding magnetical, seeing that it seems to have the magnetic qualities?
The reason why I use this gravitational term is because I see attraction with the magnets. I don't see any repulsion. So there were a few discussions in our group, and we concluded that we have obtained the neutron between H2 and H1. So it's the deuterium, the neutron between hydrogen and the deuterium, which has gravitational properties. And my belief is that if we obtain the other neutron, which is between H2 and H3, maybe we can obtain some magnetical properties, the repulsion with the magnets. But it's just personal thought.
Marius,
Yes, please.
here, Rijal here. Did you try with your hands? Is there any effects?
I personally had my hands surrounding the big bottle of deuterium gas, and comparing with other gases, I can tell there was a way stronger field. So, for example, if I want to feel the strength of the fields of CH3, I can keep my hands at about 10 to 20 centimeters far from the jar of CH3 gas. But in the case of deuterium, I was putting my hands, let's say, for about half a meter, and I could feel pressure in my palms, like I was having magnets with the same pole in my both of my palms, and they were repelling. So it was very interesting. It was like nothing I could feel until that point with other gases.
Asking Adrian, if you're playing with a field of hand. No, Jalal asking if you play with field hand, not only magnets.
Oh, to use hands instead of magnets.
Yeah, and using your strength field of emotion. You try when you are laughing, try when you are angry, trying when, this is strength fields.
I think it's a pretty good question. I personally did not try, but we can ask Mr. Adrian if he's with us. My belief is if you create the deuterium gas or the mix of gases, you should use some gas that is closer to your soul or to physicality. Something like, I think, amino acids or CO2 or even copper, or maybe a mix of all of them. Not just C, but it's just my thought. It doesn't have to be this way, of course.
you will, because I tried it with CO2 guns. I put it in a paper and I let it dry, and then I put it in closed glass, and I used my hand, and there was an effect. And one time I was a little bit angry or tired from work. I don't remember, that was before, and I just came and tried it. Nothing. So I mean, now you have outside ganses. You can coat it with water, with different items. Now you try to play with your you also you have all sorts of ganses, and you put the strength to this to your hands, and try your right hand, try your left hand, try it when it's in the morning or afternoon or night. You see, you have a big gap, not gap. You have a big what do you call it? Playground.
Window.
Yeah, to play with it, and you see, maybe you will find let's say a measurement, because what you are doing here, your group is beautiful. You're amazing. Every time you amaze us with something beautiful. So I think you have a capability to search in that.
Adrian, when making this experiment with a ball, with an empty ball, and with another glass ball and another ball with the same plasma, water plasma, and empty itself, and you don't see how to eliminate this water and remain only field. Adrian, its realization is making envelope. I don't know. It's like you are surrounding of this envelope, like Mr. Keshe is saying. You create a shield of this, and you are protected. You are attract like a carrot and a donkey. You put in front, you are attract. It's when Adrian making this experiment have the purpose, and it's touching this purpose for every experiment.
You know, it's like Konstantin saying, if you manage to affect it with your hand, after that you go with your eyes. It's the same play with another level. So you understand what we're asking here. It's beautiful. You have all the capability to do that.
You know, I know what you say, Jalal. I playing this game in my house with my little Joy. Also with feel hands, with eyes, with intention, with mind. And I say with my soul. But Adrian trying to demonstrate to the others, for me, for another knowledge seekers, what Mr. Keshe is saying, and how to making this. It's very helpful for me and for the others, for better understanding how to create this beautiful work.
And really, it's beautiful. Thank you all, guys. It's beautiful.
Maybe we can ask Adrian whether he's done any experiments with using his hands with the interacting with the wood or with the aluminum.
Marius, perhaps you asking from Adrian?
Hello,
I
Rick.
see he's here, but I don't see him answering. I see he's.
Well,
Ești pe fir?
there's
Hello.
microphones open there now. Hi, Adrian.
I'm here for you.
Good. We have a question for you.
Are întrebări pentru tine? Scuze, Marius.
Da, domnul Adrian, era o întrebare dacă ați încercat să interacționați cu acea apă de deuteriu și cu materialele folosindu-vă palmele, ci nu magneți.
Cu acea apă de deuteriu am încercat să fac acest contact senzitiv. Marius, cu plasma de deuteriu am încercat să fac contactul senzitiv cu palmele.
Da. So, Mr. Adrian said he had tried to create this sensitive contact with his palms.
Ceea ce simți între palme, într-o stare de meditație relativă a ta proprie, este că acolo există ceva foarte, foarte puternic. Ceva care nici nu poți să-l definești ca ceva cald și nici ca ceva rece.
Ok, să încerc să traduc. So, you can feel a very, very strong interaction, but it's difficult to define. You cannot define it as cold or warm, and at the same time, it's somehow inviting you to meditate. It's like a call to meditation. Dacă ați reușit să obțineți mișcare doar cu palmele, dacă ați reușit să mișcați un obiect înmuiat în gaz?
La bil am reușit. La acestea două nu am încercat, la lemn și la aluminiu.
So he's saying that he did try for the deuterium gas ball, and of course, he obtained movement by interacting with the palms.
O să fac un filmuleț, Marius, și îl arătăm în testimonialele următoare.
Okay, so the trial was just with the ball, not with the piece of wood or aluminium, and we will prepare some videos or more materials for the next session of testimonials.
Adrian, ar trebui să precizez că puterea de interacțiune crește pe zi ce trece.
Same field of these balls and piece of wood and aluminium increase day by day.
Deci, în testimoniarea următoare, Marius, o să mai venim și cu sticlă și cu cred că încă două materiale până atunci. Și o să facem și aceste interacțiuni pe care mi le-a recomandat Jalal și mulțumesc pentru recomandare. Chiar este bine de văzut cum interacționează cu noi aceste gaze. Mulțumesc.
So, Mr. Adrian, thanks for the question and for this proposal. So for the next testimonial session, we will prepare some videos with interaction with glass and the interaction with us.
Marius, sper că Adrian o să încerce să pună și un morcov în deuteriu, să vedem cum reacționează un morcov, o carotă.
Un organism miu, ceva, o legumă, un fruct, nu? Yeah, so for the session, we will try putting an, let's say, organic vegetable to see how it interacts with the deuterium gas and how the properties change, if they change.
Thank you, Marius. Thank you, Adrian.
Yes, thank you as well from the Romanian team to you all.
With pleasure.
Hello, Rick. Do you hear me?
Yes,
This is
clear.
Ram. This is Ram from France.
Okay. Sure, you should be able to go ahead there.
Do you see me?
No, I'm seeing Flint's screen.
Okay. So okay. Now I'm sure you see me now. Now. Do you see me now?
Yes, Ram, I see you.
Okay. I want to bring more details about what I presented to Mr. Keshe last week. It consists on the use of the fingers to obtain a field. Since I use pendulum, I can determine which field I have, what is its strength and its direction. For instance, you know, if I use the 3 first fingers like this, so it's like a star formation, because as Jalal presented this 3 months ago, you have a rectangular, a triangular base, and in a summit. And with my pendulum, I can determine. Okay, you can see it now. If I put my pendulum here, it is turning clockwise. Do you see it? It is turning clockwise. But if I turn the other side of the star formation, it turns exactly in the other side. So it behaves like a magnet with a south pole and a north pole. I tried to research further details about the fingers. So I tried the other fingers, and what I found is if I use the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers like this, if you see these 3 fingers, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th finger, I obtain a star formation exactly, but the field is oriented in the other direction. I show you. You can see here, it is anti-clockwise rotation. It is anti-clockwise rotation, while it was before it was clockwise rotation. I have been further in the research by trying all the fingers, and I found just one fingers, and this one, which shows this one shows a field. You can see it now. It shows a field in the other side, but nothing here. But here I have a field. And what I found also is that the orientation of the field depends on the distance to the floor or to the table. For instance, look at this. Yeah, I am about 20 centimeters over the table, and I have a clockwise rotation. If I move back and I am over the floor about 1 meter, the rotation changes completely the orientation. So the field changes its orientation. I don't know why. This is very interesting to try to understand all of this. I tried also to see what is, there is this field is stopped by plastics, but not by glass. So I used the field to see what is the effect on water, on a glass. And what I found, after 5 minutes, about 5 minutes, the water becomes itself active. I don't know whether the image is correct, but this is my first experiments about this, and I think I have a lot of findings to determine in the future.
You better talk with Jalal from this experiment, because I learning from Jalal with the same fingers. I change rotation of my field.
Okay. You change the rotation of what?
This is due to your emotion. You have this finger, you have 3 reactors, and this is star formation. You are very right.
Yes.
And you can play with it, and it's very beautiful to experiment in that and expand it also. The right hand is different from the left hand, and due to your emotion in that time, you achieve what you think. You understand? You can use them because if I say the first finger is,
yes,
I will tell you, the first finger is hydrogen. The second one is, this one deuterium.
This one is hydrogen.
This one hydrogen.
And this one
deuterium. And the third one is tritium. This is connect to the emotion side. This is the soul side. If you put the 4th finger or the 5th finger,
yes,
you are using the emotion side and the physicality side. So 2 parts of emotion with 1 part of physicality.
You know, if I open my hand completely, there is no, I don't find any field, no field. There is no field. In order to have a field, I must have only these 3. And now I have a field.
Okay, let me give you one experiment to do with it.
Yes.
You open your hand with the 5 fingers.
Yes.
Yes, and you do like a cup, like just what you done just now. Okay, and then you need to stationary your pendulum.
Yes.
You need to stationary it and fix it, not with your hand.
Yes.
And you put emotion with the other hand in the pendulum, let it goes, and let's say clockwise or anti-clockwise or in a straight movement, and then you reduce your hand to it without the 2 hands, only 1 hand.
No, it's.
I done it with a stationary ball.
Okay.
Normal ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the effect of my 3 fingers and the effect of the 5 fingers. Because normally with the 5 fingers, you don't have focus energy. But if you start to play with it, you can dictate which side is the more power. You understand? If you put your 3 fingers, the first 3 fingers, they have huge of energy. If you put 1 finger with it, that means you add the physicality to it. So this one, it will not strengthening your energy. Only if you decide that. What I said just now for Adriano and Marius, that they focus with their hands, because we need them to, not the guns dictate the emotion. No, you dictate the emotion. You focus your energy. That means you are playing with your energy. You increase your energy to this level and beyond this level. So what you need, Ram, you need to fix your pendulum, fix that it's not moving, not with your hand. You understand?
I did it. I did many times.
Yeah, but like this, your fingers in the top. Look, you're catching fingers in the top. Also, there is a reactor. The right hand, not the left hand.
The right hand.
The right hand.
Make a tripod and hang the pendulum from it.
Yes. Use only one hand, Ram.
Yes.
You understand? Use a stand to fix your pendulum in it, and a stand, and metal stand, and then use only one hand.
You know,
your pendulum.
Excuse me, but usually the pendulum, we must have it on hand.
I know.
Don't fix it.
I know. Look, you know, now your fingers.
Yes.
Okay. Look to your fingers. The first one is hydrogen, and the second one is deuterium. So your fingers is dictating the emotion. What is, you're putting your hand down or in the side, this is reflection, like you have a nano-coated copper with another plate.
Okay.
So they are playing now the same thing. You are playing not with the pendulum, but pendulum is reaction for what you have in the left hand and what you have in the right hand. I know the pendulum works in the hand. I know that because it reflects your star formation. Now look, now in your hand you have star formation, the left hand. Yes. This one now you will have it in the right hand. The right hand, normally the right hand is star formation. The pendulum reflect this one. It's not reflect the other one. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to make it perfect, and you know how much your strength and how you increase it. You need to, this pendulum, now it have an energy. What kind of stone you have, it have an energy. So you put it in the stand and stationary, you move it as you like, and then you bring your hand to it and see what is the effect.
Okay.
You dictate the emotion of it.
Okay. Thank you.
And then, you know, and then when you use the pendulum, now you understand that you affect the pendulum, and with that you affect whatever you touch. And this is, I get it from one lady, I forget her name. She said, this is the first step of healing. If you understand what you are doing with your fingers, this is the first step of healing. So
Okay.
you need to play with it. You are very, very beautiful. You are very right, but you need to make it professional. Professional, that means you dictate the emotion of the pendulum, although the pendulum is in a stand, not in your hand. And then if you knows what you are doing with the right hand, what you are doing with the left hand, what you are doing with the right hand when you are joy, what you are doing with the right hand when you are angry, you will see a different reaction. And that is what we are asking the guys to do. That is what we're asking to make it big, to explore it, because you add to my knowledge, I add to your knowledge, and Adriano adding, you see, all of us adding to each other, and that's beautiful. Thank you for your work.
Thank you, thank you. Anyway, I'm going to go further in my research, and I will report you my findings.
I'm telling you, I done it with, and I think the guys they saw one time we make it in the teaching, the paper what I put, it was in a closed condition. So there is no wind, there is no nothing, and no one move it. Only your energy.
Yes.
And that's how we learn better in the right way. That means no one will tell you, no, this is your hand effect. It is your hand effect, because the pendulum works with your hand effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And if there is hand effect, that means your emotion to it and your thought also play a big role. You need to separate your work, and you understand which one is working and which one you don't want it to work. You understand?
You know, I am working with pendulums 30 years ago, so I am used really to receive a very, very clear messages.
Yeah, but after now you separate your work and you really study it in that right way, then you don't need the pendulum, because now you know the effect in your finger, the middle finger, or the let's say I call it 1, 2, 3, or what you call it, hydrogen, deuterium, tritium, as you like, what name you give, and then you understand which one is more effective, in which position, in which environment, which condition you are in. Are you receiving? Are you giving? You understand? Are you giving in the right measurement? How much you give? How much you take? Is it affect you? Is all this question you need to ask yourself, because now you are opening a door to give or receive. Understanding in this teaching, we are not learning something new. We already have it, but the learning of Mr. Keshe only open doors to understand.
Okay.
Are you giving or you are taking? That's all. In the meaning of this whole knowledge, you are 70, 60, 70 kilo of guns, all sort of gases, from hydrogen to whatever we don't know. But we need to understand what we are doing. That's all. And if we understand what we are doing, then we will control it in the right way. Then, as Mr. Keshe said, you can fix your spaceship with your hand. And if he says so, and until now, whatever he said, and we do, we find the truth in it. That means we believe in ourself. That's all. You believe in yourself, what you are doing, with understanding, and then you will do it. You're targeting, you're targeting your aim. You position your star formation. Maybe it's not only in your fingers. Star formation from all your body, and then you will find so many beautiful things. And it's not wrong what you are doing. It's very beautiful. And
thank you.
Really keep that. But you need to make it professional for you first, and then we learn from you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ram.
Goodbye.
Well, very good. Thank you, Jalal, for that input. That was good for everyone, I think, to experience. Anything else anyone would like to add or have any questions about that?
helps me much.
Pardon me, sorry.
I still think them both that helps me much.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Helps me a lot.
Have you been working with that idea as well?
No, nothing.
Okay.
Let me give you a challenge, guys. We all know that you dictate the condition. You can't dictate the condition. So bring a CO2 gas and try and focus and learn how to change this CO2 to another gas. That means change the color of it. And I am sure 100% you achieve it. Because I think most of you understand how we make gases and how we dictate the condition to make the gases. And you are 100 trillion times more powerful than these two plates. This one you need to challenge yourself with it.
About changing GANs, previous my video with two interaction of these bottle guns is making in 1 week ago, and I have one picture yesterday. No, yes, I'm making yesterday in the same GANs, but only now I seeing what is change. Can I share this picture for understanding what about?
Yes, you should be able to share there now, I believe.
Yes. Okay, photo gallery. Okay, this is the picture, and this is yesterday making.
Yeah, we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it yet. We're still seeing Flint's screen.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
There we go.
Okay, it's the same, no? After 1 week, now I putting together one at the top after this video, and yesterday I making this picture. Look how to CO2 it attract it from left side, and what Jalal say, no, you change CO2 or transfer field in the CO2 of plasma. Next step, I try to move these GANs with my fingers or my mind. I try next week, and I show him what result I have.
If you think this is too much, this gas is too much, use a little bit, small amount.
Okay.
Small amount and try to change the color of it.
I try. One experiment I have with only plasma, water, and a little CO2 gas, and changing in pink. I want to obtain hemoglobin. I putting one nail of iron inside, and I obtain other things, but it's another experiment. I try. So, okay, thank you.
Beautiful, thank you.
Dan Badiș, scuze. Dan Badiș, vrea Jalal cumva să facem o competiție în a aduce orice gans să se comporte ca deuteriu, să fie în hidrogen cu tritiu, sau să-l transformăm într-un anumit tip de gans?
să transformăm în CO2 în alt gaz, în altă, să schimbă culoarea.
Pune întrebarea lui Jalal, te rog.
Okay, Adrian Jalal Adrian asking, is the challenge from changing GANs in the deuterium, playing with deuterium, or only CO2 in changing?
Whatever guns you like.
Ce gaz vrei? Okay.
If you can change any guns.
I like deuterium because it's only hydrogen, only tritium.
Okay, do it. Try to change the color, and if you see, bring it back to the original. But
am reușit asta deja. Deci
already did. Adrian already did this change.
Schimb deuteriul, îl fac când este tritium la culoare, când este hidrogen la culoare. După cum vreau eu.
Playing with how to want and changing deuterium in tritium or in hydrogen from your purpose. Deci Adrian already did it, this thing.
That is good, but you need to understand one thing. Deuterium or tritium or hydrogen is very easy to affect from another gases, the environment you put in. So you done it, okay, do it again, but you take this deuterium or hydrogen or tritium to another place. There is no any interaction with another fields, or you put it in a nano-coated box, and when you want to try to change it, you put hand in this box.
Okay, let me tell you, Marius, you try to translate from Adrian. Adrian, ai înțeles ce a vrut să zică Jalal?
În mare, am înțeles, să mă folosesc de câmpurile mele la transformare. Am priceput.
Ok, să fie în afara celorlalte câmpuri. Adică să nu aibă interacție cu alte câmpuri.
Am înțeles.
And let me tell you guys, it's not difficult. We are do it every time with another entities. We are doing it with the animals, we are doing it with the plants, we are doing it with another human beings. When you are close to them, they feel something from you, or you feel something from them. So I think it's easy to do that. And if you do it and you control it in the right way, this will open a beautiful door. Thank you, Adrian.
Yes, it's a beautiful door. Yes, you are true. Okay.
Hello, everybody. This is Marius again from Romania. And this time I want to present Gianni's experiment with Imperial Lily. So it's a garden experiment this time, or gardening design experiment. So if I may share my screen for a few pictures. Can you see the picture?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with this picture here, or maybe I can this one. So this is an imperial lily that was harvested at the end of July this year, and the purpose was to collect seeds and bulbs for them to be planted in the soil. So after being harvested, the plant was kept into a bottle containing CO2 and zinc oxide gas waters, it was 70% CO2 and 30% zinc oxide. So I will show you this bottle. So this was the experiment, and while the plant was sitting in this bottle, the seeds and the bulbs were able to grow, and then they were put into the soil on the 5th of October. And I can show you a few more pictures, but I think this is the same idea. This is how the seed looks at the microscope at 40 times zoom in. And after being planted, this is how it looks. And these are more seeds and little plants. So this is about it. If you have any questions for Gianni, you may please ask. Oh, one information I slipped. So the bulbs and seeds started forming after 45 days after the petals were completely fallen.
Hi, Marius. Danny here.
Hi, Danny.
I have a question there. Do they reproduce by dividing the bulbs or seeds or both? That's a tricky one. I'm sorry.
Yes, as far as I know, the bulbs were planted in the soil, but not sure about the seeds. I think were bulbs, but I can ask because I don't know the answer.
Thank you.
I see the date right in right there. 15 October. It's this seed, no? Which I from 6 of.
Marius, pune întrebarea, te rog. Hello, salut tuturor.
Întrebarea a fost dacă ai plantat și semințele și bulbii.
Doar bulbii, semințele ce le-ai prezentat sunt la uscat. Adică încă lasă să usuce și semințele doar în primăvară le plantez.
Deci în primăvară.
Ce se vede sunt doar bulbii.
Okay. So, Danny, I got the answer. So, only the bulbs were planted in the soil, and the seeds are kept somewhere to get dry or to rinse, and they will be planted in the spring.
Thank you.
Hello, Johnny. Can you tell us what gases we have in the room or other materials?
Da, au fost ținute în cameră tot timpul și tulpina încă o am în aceea sticlă și continuă să facă bulbi.
So they were saying the plant is still being kept in the glass with liquid plasma for creating more bulbs.
Gianni, ne poți spune ce gansuri mai sunt sau nanomateriale în camera cu experiment, dacă mai sunt?
Am deasupra, am făcute gans pur de CO2, făcute cu bobine în exterior.
Marius, can you translate for the public? Thank you.
Jenny, dacă poți să repeți, te rog frumos.
În încăpere, pe partea unde am bulbii, unde am experimentele, în partea dreaptă, la aproximativ 2 metri și jumătate, deasupra însemnând față de nivelul unde sunt aceștia, cam la 1,20 m, am gansuri de reactoare cu gansuri de CO2 pur, cu bobine în exterior, deci unul dintre ele este cu bobine în exterior și celălalt cu bobinele în pungi de plastic băgate în reactor.
Okay. So the question was if there are any other nanomaterials, reactors, gases, and so on in this room. And the answer was yes. In the right side of this room, there are CO2 reactors. One of them hits with the coils outside of the reactor, and the rest are regular reactors as we are used to create CO2.
La 6 metri distanță, scuze, opus față de zona în care sunt, am 3 reactoare cu CH3.
3 reactoare de CH3?
Da, 3.
Și de asta întreb ca să fiu sigur.
3 reactoare de CH3.
Okay. So 6 meters behind this view, there are also 3 reactors of CH3 gas.
Ce se vede în imagine, ce se vede acolo am pornit un experiment, se numește trisecale și de fapt e vorba de semințe de grâu, orz, ovăr, secară și orez. Experimentele l-am pornit la începutul octombrie, cu semințe ținute în gans în apă de zinc, aceeași proporție care am folosit-o și în sticlă pentru bulbi. Este o proporție pe care o folosesc la toate semințele pentru că așa am obținut rezultate.
Ok, 2 secunde să
spun.
Fraze scurte ca să traducă. Fraze scurte, vă rog.
Okay, so to translate. What you can see in the background, there are a few recipients with cereal plants. The project is named Trisecale, and initially the seeds of them were placed into plasma water of CO2 and zinc oxide, same percentage. It's 70% CO2, 30% zinc oxide. And the reason is for Gianni, this combination had the best results.
Am uitat să specific ceva important. Pământul l-am luat din afara grădinii, a oazei, cum o numesc, și a fost tratat cu plasmă lichidă din gansurile de bază. Am folosit 25% din cele 4 de bază.
Ok.
Am udat pământul...
2 secunde. 2 secunde. The dirt from these recipients was taken from outside the oasis. So it's from far away from Gianni's garden. And it was treated with the 4 basic gases or water gases in equal proportions. Ok, Gianni?
Da. Este ceea ce fac întotdeauna și în oază. În prima fază, înainte de însămânțare, folosesc ud cu proporțiile din gansurile de bază. După, deci, din momentul în care am introdus semințele, am început să ud cu o combinație de 50% CO2, 25% de NO și 25% CH3.
Da, 2 secunde. So this is a procedure that I usually do in autumn for treating the soil. So I create a mix of 50% CO2, 25% zinc oxide, and 25% CH3 plasmas, and I treat the soil in autumn.
Thank you.
Thank you very much again from me and the Romanian team. If there are any questions.
That's beautiful. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you very much as well.
Do we have anyone else who'd like to share something with us? Any experiments? In whatever direction? Nobody? No experiments?
Yeah, here's Gunther. Hello.
Hi, Günther. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Okay. I will come with a project, with a test I done this summer, spring to summer. It's not yet finished as I wanted, but I can show you some pictures. What happened? Just a second. I want to share my pictures. Can you give me?
You can just go ahead.
Okay. Okay, where do I have it? Just a second. So just a second. So here you see my pear tree in my garden. This tree was planted 1996, and the position of this tree is not very well planned or positioned, because here I have a energy line in the ground, and the tree goes or the tree grew left side and then straight, so the position wasn't got. And I had always problems with this tree, and this year I got a big problem with it. I got the fire blight bacteria. It's a bacteria which came from America in the 50s, 60 years, I think. And it's a bacteria where the leaves become black and the branches become black. And this is a very big problem here in Middle Europe, especially where I live, between Munich and Zurich. There is the Lake Constance, and here we have a lot of apple trees and pear trees, and a lot of farmers who live from that. And last year they lost a lot of trees, and until today they didn't found anything against that bacteria. So therefore I started the tests and thought, yes, okay, let's start with a CO2 Gans ball, like a Tischtennis table ball. And I filled in that ball CO2 Gans water and a little bit powder of dried CO2 Gans. And I glued and I put that ball into the top of the tree. And after 2 or 3 days, I found a change in that tree. The color of the leaves became more dark green. And when you stand under the tree, you can feel a stronger field strong energy going through the tree in that area. Okay. So after a week, after I put that ball on the top, I started to try to solve the problem with the fire blight bacteria. And I thought, yeah, let's start with copper guns. It's always good to use copper because it's against infections on your skin. And thought, yeah, okay, I make a spray and I put that spray onto the leaves of that infected parts. And I observed those leaves and saw that the bacteria continuously, how do you say, walking or continuously making the green black. And after 1.5 weeks, I stopped that test with copper guns because it reduced the speed of damaging the leaf, let's say 70–80%, but it didn't stop the bacteria. So I thought, okay, what shall I do? And I asked Evelyn Lerner in Vienna. Thanks a lot, Evelyn, for your sulfur guns. And after I made the guns water of the sulfur guns, and I sprayed this water onto that leaf. And after 2 days, the bacteria stops. So this is my positive result, that sulfur guns helps very good for bacteria, especially in my case, the fire blight. Yes, and this is now the biggest challenge, that we have something against this fire blight. And the second positive effect of the CO2 guns in the tree, in that ball, was the last year, since this tree planted there, I had every year pear rust on the leaves and on the fruits. That are black dust. Just looking, do I have a picture here? Just a second. I hope I can show you a little bit more. Just a second. Ah, yeah, here is it. Okay. So I just go through the pictures. This, can you see this?
Yes.
The tree. Okay.
Can you see your picture of your desktop, or of all the pictures rather than?
Okay. Now you should see the tree.
Yep.
Okay. So I just go through the pictures. These black branches you see here, this is the fire blight I had in the tree. And here you see in the middle of the tree my table tennis CO2 guns ball.
Sorry, Günther, what is fire blight? Where exactly is that? Is that
in German,
kind of?
In German we say Feuerbrand.
Okay, so the leaves, they look like they're burned, yeah?
Exactly. So it's a bacteria which comes from, yeah, I think it's America, or I don't know, but people say it comes from America, but it can also come from Scotland.
Yeah, let's blame them.
Okay.
Nice one.
Yes, and it looks like, when you see here now, the leaves are infected and they become black. And this is my reference leaf, and when I started, the leaf was only at the outside corner. It was black, and within 10 days, it changed from outside to inside. And this
then
is
you had just your balls hanging. Well, you didn't have your balls hanging there. You had these table tennis balls hanging in the tree, yeah?
Yeah.
Or did you
on top,
spray it
yeah.
as well?
This is I made 3 tests. First of all, it was the ball and the top. This ball had the function to strengthen the tree and play as a magnet inside the tree to catch the aminos which come from the air down. So through this ball, the tree gets much more amino acids than without. With those amino acids, it's the base of life. The tree becomes stronger, and it also itself fields from top to the bottom becomes a little bit stronger. So I found an effect before and after that CO2 ball in the tree, that after the ball is in the tree, I feel a little bit more strong field around the tree. So this was only a test for me to see what effect has this ball. It has the effect to strengthen the tree. It gets a stronger field around. And the third and positive effect was that the rust, that the peer rust reduced 70%. Peer rust, Gitterrost in German called. You can look in Wikipedia. It is, I don't know, maybe it's a virus or is it? I think it's a virus because we know that CO2 guns affects viruses very good, but no bacteria. So the fire blight bacteria I had in this tree, so the CO2 gun spore didn't heal that bacteria. Therefore, I tested the two other guns. The two other ganses. The first, the copper guns. The copper guns reduced the speed of the bacteria. It reduced the speed maybe 60%, 70%, but it didn't stop the bacteria. And the third test I made, it was the test with sulfur guns, water spraying the leaf.
Sulfur, yeah?
Sulfur, yeah. And sulfur stopped the bacteria in it 2 days. This was very effective. And this is the very positive and good result I found here. Here, the farmers, they are connected with Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, and they have a project in the University of Constance. And they found out that the farmers, they don't do anything against this bacteria. The tree dies maybe in 1-2 years. They found also when the farmer is trying to do something with this or that, 50% of the trees overlive that bacteria, but the other 50% dies. And now with this sulfur guns possibility, I think it's possible to stop Of course, it needs more tests to see next year and the years after, and to find out in which concentration, how many times you have to spray it. I think I done it 2 times. Yes, at the Cleave I done it 2 times. And therefore it needs a lot of more tests to do. But in my case, it stops. And yeah.
Could you tell us once again what was in the spray?
In the spray, there was only the sulfur guns water. That means Evelyn sent me a little probe with the white CO2 guns plus sulfur in it. So it's CO2 with the sulfur fields in it. And then I add distillated water, mixed it or shaked it, let it stay for 24 hours, and then you put that water, that clear water above the white, and I put it into a spray box and took this to the tree and sprayed the leaves with this. And this.
That sounds good. Now, it'd be nice to know a little more about the actual process of how the sulfur fields were put into the CO2 GANs, what kind of sulfur was used, and that kind of thing. Do you know more details about that?
No, I have to ask Evelyn. But
okay, great.
but as I remember, she added the sulfur to the CO2. Because yes. What is sulfur? Yeah. Sulfur comes from the earth inner, comes through the chimney, through the coated chimney, and sulfur is already coated. Sulfur is in nanostate. So through this, that's my idea. I don't know what Mr. Keshe tells, but I remember also in a workshop that Mr. Keshe told us there are 3 substances in the chemical elements, or which help to clean the universe, the universes. There it was chloride, sulfur, and the third I didn't remember. And with these 3 elements, I think we can help the souls overlive such effects like these fire bleed bacteria.
I've got the Wikipedia on the fire blight, and maybe it would be interesting to read a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So let me share that. Do you have more to share here as well?
Just one small picture to show you a little effect between between copper spray and sulfur spray. So this was the leaf here. You see it's black. This was the test with the copper. And later on, I sprayed with the sulfur, and you see the little bit brownish orange color change in that black. And this gives an effect that something happened with the bacteria. This was not the old before. This was with sulfur. These 2, and you see the fly here loves to sit there. The same picture. Yeah, and when you put sulfur in on that leaf, the black changes into this brown orange color. There you see this is the rest of the sulfur. You can see a little bit better. Or here.
So Günther, how long have you been doing that now?
Only 2 days.
2 days.
In 2 days, after spraying the sulfur guns water onto that black part, it changed from black to this brown orange.
That's quite interesting. Yeah, indeed.
And why did you choose sulfur?
Only it was an input from my soul. And I thought, yeah, sulfur. Maybe I read. Ah, yeah, okay.
Well, they do use sulfur in spraying of fruit trees and that sort of thing for certain kinds of bugs, I believe. Like
yeah, in the chemical area of pesticides, they test a lot of copper and sulfur also, but not plasmatic water.
Right.
What about
the difference is the plasmatic sulfur, and the difference is the plasmatic copper, and not the material copper or the material sulfur. It's always, the point is the plasmatic fields is the effect. The plasmatic field is the input into the bacteria structure. Like we eat something, our stomach gives the field free, the acid, and the field goes in. And I think here is the same. The bacteria got that sulfur fields into its structure, and the sulfur concentration was maybe too much, and they stopped.
What about making up a CO2 ring and putting it around the trunk of the tree?
Yes, same. It has the same. It has the similar effect.
No, with just CO2 and liquid plasma, not any sulfur in it.
Ah, okay. This has the same effect like the ball. It's a magnet for the amino acids, came from heaven. But you put that ring on the bottom. I put my ball on the top because I want that my magnet is on the top or not on the bottom. But I have no experience. Maybe Mr. The other people from Australia and Africa has more experience in it. I don't have. It was my first agriculture test, and it works. Okay.
Yeah, well, maybe we can have a look at the Wikipedia here. It's got some interesting information that correlates with what you're saying. So
yes, please share.
Let's have a look at that. And just try to do the sharing correctly here. Double, triple checking. I think I got it. Okay, so just have to make another window. There we go. This is about fire blight is the notation here. And it mentions it's a contagious disease affecting apples, pears, some other members of the family, the rose family. Serious concern, it can destroy an entire orchard in a single growing season. And it mentions some other details. It does mention the disease is believed to be indigenous to North America, from where it spread to most of the rest of the world. So I think you're correct there. You know, the funny thing is, there's a lot of diseases and things, strange plants that we have on the west coast of Canada here, and we blame we blame the English, we blame the Scottish, we blame the Irish for bringing these plants over when they came to settle the area. And there's one called, well, there's a number of them, and they just spread, and we have to try to yank them out and so on. But it's funny, one side blames the other side, it seems. But this right here, that's what it says. Let me see, it goes on to talk about where it exists and some of the history and so on. And it shows a tree with leaves all brown and so on. And this other picture, it's actually similar to Gunther's in many ways there, I think. And if we go further down and look at the, there's symptoms, which gives all the details on that. And then if you look at the management, you find out that, well, one of the, there's very little effective treatment, if any, for this problem. They spray the plants with streptomycin, which is a antibiotic that's used to treat tuberculosis and other such, the plague and so on, or injecting them with oxytetracycline, another broad spectrum antibiotic. But then they found that it's led to antibiotic resistance in some areas, such as California and Washington. So, and then it mentions certain biological controls consisting of beneficial bacteria or yeast can also prevent fire blight from infecting new trees. The only effective treatment for plants already infected is to prune off the affected branches and remove them from the area.
Yes, here the people, here the people, they burn it, they cut it away and they burn it. That it's not effective.
The rest of the plant can be saved if the blighted wood is removed from the infection before the infection spreads to the roots. There is no known cure. Prevention is the key.
But please take care when you cut those branches with a knife or with a scissor. Those bacteria are then on that knife and that scissor. You have to disinfect that tool you took for this cutting. Very, very important. Otherwise, you take that bacteria from one tree to the other one, and it didn't stop.
So it mentions, like you're saying, it needs to be destroyed externally before it enters the cell. So once it enters the host, it spreads. And then once that happens, external control methods become ineffective. The ideal control method is to apply copper and antibiotics to the plant externally. Have you tried copper at all with your?
I tried the copper spray, but it didn't affect.
Copper can be toxic to plants, can kill plants, but you found it didn't do anything. The copper GANS water. Okay. So it says this is the only effective method, and it is indeed preventative. So basically, these farmers are really needing a treatment for this. So if we can indeed prove that the CO2 GANS water or derivatives thereof with the sulfur fields, like you were saying, if that indeed it can be proven to be effective, then surely this would be something that would be very much in demand by these farmers with the nurseries and orchards and so on. It says imported and infected crops are destroyed as soon as they are noticed, since the bacteria spreads very rapidly and eradication methods are usually costly and inefficient. So very interesting. For example, it mentions growing pears in Emilia-Romagna in Italy. In that area in Italy is a traditional activity for some families. And fire blight threatens this tradition that has been passed down for several generations. And in southern Germany, apple and pear trees have been part of the landscape for a long time and are difficult to protect. The decline of apple and pear trees from their landscape can be expensive to replace and could have a negative effect on tourism. In the long run, fire blight is a very important factor of economy and society.
So this is the area where I come from. I am from South Germany, but in Austria.
Well, there you go. You're in the perfect place at the perfect time to show this technology. Hey? Congratulations.
Thanks, Les. No, it's wonderful what he gave us. Thanks a lot, Mr. Keshe. I love you.
Yes, indeed. And thanks to all the knowledge seekers that continue to add to this knowledge and continue to do their experiments and just trying things like Gunther has to, trees can give you a pretty immediate direct feedback, and usually you notice a change within a day or two if there's any changes that are happening, because your cells are growing so quickly, and these blights and so on can grow very quickly at the same time. So it's a battle of who is the strongest in a way.
So what I made was spraying, but you as a knowledge seeker, you have a lot of other possibilities to work with badges, with balls, with magraphs. You have so many possibilities to test. You are not located onto one tree. You can spread those fields over miles or kilometers. The possibilities you have now in your hand, they are enormous. So such a bacteria infection in this region or in America should be finished now with the technology we have, brothers and sisters. It's wonderful. Do it.
That's why this testimonial is very important. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, well done, Gunther. Is there any questions for Gunther or any other input on that?
I have one question. I'm down for Romania. Gunther, I asking, do you think it's interact of gas where you make it changes the environment for creating, like I say, guns of this disease and attract and change change the base of this, like transfer field. When you make this spraying and
yes, you're right. Congratulations. You have the right idea. The point is, when you make fields, you don't need sulfur fields. You need the field of the bacteria. And when the bacteria is in a guns, the GANs takes that bacteria the energy away.
When you make like a cancer, I don't doctors, but it's from my understanding what Mr. Keshe is saying. I don't want to interpret. It's not my domain, medicine, but I help understanding. It's from my understanding, like CH3 with transfer of patches of field, no CO2, and you are in the middle. You like an example with herpes. You're making guns of this herpes.
Exactly. You make a GANs of the bacteria, and you put on the one side a strong patch and on the other side a low patch.
You consume, you transfer energy for this.
Exactly.
Magnet.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this bacteria GANs has the field strength of the bacteria and takes the energy out of the bacteria from one side to the other side. And that's the point where you can manage it over meters, over big areas without spraying every tree. That's the basic. You understand it perfectly. Congratulations. Yeah, that's it. But this is then the second or third step. Very important at the moment is to make more tests and to see what happens. Maybe when I spray the sulfur, the bacteria dies. This is a point we don't want. We want to be in balance with all creatures around us and on this planet. And therefore we must find a way to bring all in balance. The question is, why is this bacteria so highly active? What is the reason? When you look at the history books in America and you go back into the 1800th century, where this bacteria was started, then you find the source of this bacteria, the unbalance. Maybe mixed it with blood, maybe mixed it with fear, and with the CO2 bacteria GANs, for example, as you said, you can balance the bacteria without destroying. That's the point. We live in balance with all souls around us. Thank you.
It's touching this package of field is matched with where they need.
Exactly. Also, a bacteria has a soul.
Thank you, Gunther.
You're welcome.
Yeah, especially when you consider the idea that, as it mentions here, it's able to survive outside the host, and which allows it to spread in many ways, such as rain. So if this bacteria is in the rain, then it's going to be on all the plants and it's going to be everywhere. So it's not a matter of avoiding it that way. It's a matter of creating the plants that are stronger than the bacteria in the way, so that it's a natural function of the plant to be less of a food supply for the bacteria. The bacteria has a way of breaking down the plant defenses, and has these special ways of doing that. So if the plant's defenses are stronger, due to the use of the Ganses, for example, then its fields will repel the fields of the bacteria in a natural way. You don't have to kill them, you just have to avoid being their food.
Well,
Okay.
I was gonna say keep at it and give us some more results next month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's quite exciting. And also that information should be passed on to the agricultural professionals in the private teaching, I would think, as well. And if you get some results as you go on, it would be excellent to do a plasma scientific journal entry on that as well.
It has a big effect, yes. To other diseases too.
Waldemir suggests that more herbal density or plants per area might avoid cold climate-based plant problems. Is this a cold climate-based plant problem, the fire blight, I wonder?
We don't know.
Climates.
We have winter here. We have minus degrees. We have snow here. We have, but it don't die.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It seems to like the cold climates. It says it can currently be found in all the provinces of Canada, as well as some parts of the United States, including, well, it says Alabama. That's pretty far south, but California, Colorado. Well, it mentions a lot of states here, mainly the northern states. But it also says Mexico and Bermuda, so.
It seems to be that there are less here in Europe, in northern part of Europe, and there's more like in southern Germany. So I think they need some warmth to develop in the springtime.
Yeah, springtime is the dangerous time when the flower comes up and the sun and the rain position. There is a small window where the flower is affected by the bacteria.
All right, very good. Okay, well, we'll definitely get more on that later. And thank you, Peggy, for putting in the link to the submitting your scientific journal entries. I'll put that in the chat in the live stream as well. All right, perhaps we'll pass on to the next topic here. There's no other comments or questions about that. All right, then somebody else have something they'd like to bring forward here in their testimonials group.
Yeah, I still have a question, if this is okay.
Sure.
If we want to make a GANs including the bacteria, so we take the energy of it away, how do we do it? We don't have an extract of the bacteria. So if we take some of the leaves or fruits that are affected, we also have a part of the pear with it, or the other kind of fruits. So how do we do it without taking the energy away also of the trees themselves?
Take one piece of this part, leave with malady. For example, for my understanding, take away one part of this problem, putting all over with a kit of CO2 and transfer this field inside of box and making this gas, or nano coating with, I don't know, with fire and making ashes, or caustic, put it into caustic, create a nano coat and two piece, one clear and one nano coat, making gas. It's, I don't know, it's, I see three ways from making gas: transfer field, making nano coat and clear leaf of this problem of tree, and another with caustic, or another with ash of this problem.
Einfach test it. There are so many possibilities. Test this way, test this way, test this way, and try.
Can I add to the knowledge, please?
Sure, go ahead, Jalal.
Rick, maybe you remember the discussion between Dr. Klaus and Mr. Keshe about this matter and how he changed the environment to the tree itself. So he need to take from the soul of the tree to increase for it. Just 1 second, please.
Which means with what is feeding this tree, with water in the soil, on soil, it's what is in the base.
Let me clear that, if I remember it right. The position here, you don't need to influence even this bacteria or this thing. Maybe you kill it, maybe you destroy it. So you need to increase the strength of the tree itself without damaging any other entities. So what you would do, you will take from the soul of the tree, and you know where is the soul of the tree? It's in the roots, between the roots and between the surface. And in this way, you do not influence in any another entities. And this is the beauty of this knowledge. The beauty of this knowledge is peace. So if you understand how to interact with the environment in peaceful way, and this is the fruit of the knowledge.
Which means don't kill, leave the living, but in another shape.
Yes, you increase the strength level of the tree that itself will you know, like the immune system, your immune system, without damaging any another entities or make it difficult for them.
Good point.
Thank you, Jalal and Dan. No, not Dan. I didn't remember the name. Balit, yes. Okay, thank you. And yes, Günther, of course, too, because I have some of these illnesses in my trees.
Have you tried anything yet, Christian? I know you've done other experiments and so on.
Just very little plasma installation on one of the bigger meadows. Nothing specific for strengthening single kind of tree or something like this yet.
Wondering if
Perhaps
there's a way to tie in your other research with the filter paper research that you've done.
with petri dish.
Like, what would the sulfur GANs look like? The sulfur CO2 GANs look like on your charts compared to a normal CO2 GANs? Would there be a difference?
Yes, very good idea to do that. Thank you.
And then we'd have a way of notating the change there, or some difference.
It would be interesting also to see the GANs of the soil of a tree.
Yeah, to me, the GANs of the soul of the tree would be the sap of the tree. Does anybody, or you know, the liquid part, and that comes from it travels up and down, is basically the blood.
I think, Rick, the place of that is between the roots and the surface.
This summer I tried to my apple tree. It's suffering from no cold, hot, no elevated temperature. It's leave its contortion and suffering. And I put in 2 bottles with C for 4 liters of gas of CO2 zinc oxide, but I don't see the result how I expect in few days. And I don't know, I forget this experiment, but when I turn in my house, I make a picture of this apple tree for seeing how it's now or compared.
And Walter, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, because I think it's this bottle of GANs influence like a transfer field with earth in the base of this apple tree. I think there's no need spraying or putting plasma water into the earth. I think it's a transfer also. It's making one field of in turn of this bottle. I don't know in how large, how bigger is this cocoon, but I want to make a picture for seeing the result. I have the picture of this summer, and perhaps in a few days I make this picture for compare.
Okay, we'll look forward to that for perhaps on the next testimonial meeting. Waldemir mentions, can the seeds also be used as part of that GANs procedure? I guess he's talking about.
Because carrying the energy of soul of these three?
Yes, perhaps.
I don't think so.
Why not?
It's not yet with the soul. Although it have all the environment, only when you put it in in the right environment, and then when it's the first opened up, then it creates the soul.
It's not like a child carrying characteristics of parents.
Yeah, it takes, but
you have the kid.
You need two to make a soul. As Mr. Keshe explained, you need emotion side and physicality side to make a soul. Although this have all the ingredients of the tree, yes, but do not have the, I think, not yet.
I also think it won't work, although I think, of course, the seeds, they do have a soul, but it's their own soul. It's not directly the same as the soul of the tree, of the mother, or of the tree where they grow.
Yes, you have the energy of it, but not the soul. Not the level, I think, the level of energy of soul.
Yes, it's a different level, a different, yes, point of view.
It's like a fruit. Only fruit, one fruit is one string, another fruit is another string, other position like earth and sun. But in this inside is the base. It's the same. It's helping for increase the plant mother plant field. I think, I don't know. It's my belief.
Maybe we can go out and let the tree show us the right path to take to strengthen it.
Right.
And how would you do that? How would you communicate with the tree, or how would you allow it to communicate that knowledge to you?
I will go to it, look at it, ask it, and then wait for what I see. It changed with me. I'm getting more and more answers that I did not get last year. It really is. It is changing, and I think it's probably the case with most of you or many of you as well.
It's possible. Let you choice three. Choosing what you need. You put the gun and it need take it what it need itself.
Yes.
Waldemir says in the chat, do you remember Mr. Keshe talking about eating eggs? I don't remember. Does anybody, is that key off something, a memory for anyone? Eating eggs.
When they explained how it make the egg like a chicken and color, what you see. I don't know, is this part? Egg of chickens?
I guess so.
Like a field of zinc, because chicken is not eating zinc, and how to transform in calcium. I think, I don't know, it's about the same idea.
I'm not sure. Maybe Waldemir would have to give a
more detail
on that.
We need him to speak.
Perhaps, yes. He gave a link to a Japanese farmer and philosopher, Masanobu Fukuoka. Japanese farmer and philosopher celebrated for his natural farming and revegetation of desertified lands. referred to as natural farming or do-nothing farming. He was an outspoken advocate of the value of observing nature's principles. Okay, well, people can look into that if they wish. Okay, what else do we have to present here? Any other comments or ideas or experiments that people might have done?
Hello, this is Marius again.
Hi, Marius.
From Romania. I recently have finished the construction of a Magraph power unit. I didn't put the cables to connect it at, the plugs. I just connected the stackers and the batteries. And before putting it at another bath of caustic, steam of caustic, to repair the nano layers after connecting the wires, I have noticed a very, very powerful field coming from it and feeding, let's say, my entire body with great energy. Like I was the entire day very, very energetic. May I show some pictures of the Magraph?
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, so this is how it looks. And I have the 3 stackers. At the bottom, there are the 4 battery capacitors. Maybe I will try to share again. Sorry, I think this is better. This is the preparation for the battery capacitors. It's the mix of gases. Actually, it's a composite gas. I used a different method to create the gas. I used a battery, and on the minus, I connected the copper coils I wanted to nano coat, such as nano coils for the capacitors and Magraph stackers as well. And on the minus of the battery, on the plus, sorry, of the battery, I have put regular copper, regular zinc, and regular zinc coated iron. So in a few days, I was able to collect a lot of gas, and it was a mixture of all of these gases, which had the energy and properties of all of them: CO2, zinc oxide, copper oxide, and CH3. So all of them were together, and when creating the GANs coating of the stackers as well, I have used this mixture of gases. So my stackers were basically GANs coated inside reactors of, let's say, composite gas creation. This is a picture I can come back to, but this is how I prepared the paper for the batteries. This is how they look at the end. There are 4 batteries. These are the inside. So I have a regular central copper wire axe. It's not a central wire. It's nano-coated copper, and it was covered in this paper that was covered in this mixture of gases. And on top, it's the zinc, nano-coated zinc coil with 27 turns. And on top, it's aluminum foil covered as well in the same gas mixture. And on top, there is 27 turned nano-coated copper again. So
a question.
Yes, please.
The aluminum foil you have coated. Very important.
No, I didn't coat nano-coat the coil. I have coated it with this mixture of gases.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome. Yes. So after this is after I put all of them together, and then I have connected them to the lower stacker of the maggrav. And the black, let's say, supports here, the black discs here are supports for flower recipients. So you can find them at gardening store or something. And of course, the central balls are the same. They are containing that mixture of gases. So it's a slightly different construction, but it's very, very powerful in terms of fields and interaction with the body. And actually, after putting the plate of fruits, I have tried with vegetables as well, with a few tomatoes. They get a bit tastier, so to say, a bit more tastier and a bit sweeter. That was a conclusion after one day of using this maggrav in the kitchen. Now it is at steam, caustic steam for another few days to repair the nano layers after connecting the stackers. But as it is now, or as it was this Saturday when I finished the construction, it was very, very powerful. And what I'm intending to do with it is to use it for myself, to provide the energy my body needs, and the fruits and vegetables and food in general in the kitchen. I don't intend to connect any plugs, at least not very soon. Though I may connect plugs and put them or connect them, as Mr. Keshe mentioned in the last workshop, to create the self generator. But I don't intend to use it to plug it in my house. Not at the moment, at least. It was a very, very big curiosity from my side to see how I can interact with the fields and how powerful are these fields and what I can do with the fields. And I think it's a very, very neat toy to have in your house and to play with. And I'm very, very sure that there are a lot of things to discover at myself and at this maggrav unit by working with it. But there were these two first things that I noticed. One was the amount of energy that I have benefit from for one entire day. And in that day I was coming from sports activity, so I was exhausted. I was ready to go to bed and to take a 2-hour sleep or so to recover, but it wasn't needed anymore because I had this in my kitchen, and my activity was in the kitchen for a few hours, and with the fields and all the things I have gathered or benefit from this MagGraph, I was able to use them for one entire day. And the second one with food, with vegetables and fruit, I have noticed a bit sweeter taste for the grapes, for example, or for tomatoes. So thank you very much. If there are any questions.
Thank you, Marius. Any questions for him?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Marius, did you thought about this MagGraph or disk reactors?
Not yet. Actually, this is my first MagGraph construction, and I have been working on it for a few months, I think, because I'm very, very careful with the nano coating and with the rinsing and so on in order to create and grow nano layers as properly as as good as possible. But I intend to move on to next projects after I finish this one and after I discover a lot more.
Make another and give in giving this and make another.
Yes, actually I have the coils already done for the other one. This one, of course, I intend to offer it after I finish my next construction, and I know who will benefit from it. So yes, it's actually something that I had in mind for a long time.
You know, Marius, this picture, when I see it, give me an idea. You know this black barrier? If this black barrier is really barrier to contain the fields, where is your field now? In which position?
From what I have felt,
I said if you think these barriers, what you put, the black one, if this one is a real barrier, and I think you know how to make barrier.
I believe aluminium creates barriers or reflects the fields, if you are referring to that.
Another plasma creates another barrier.
Of course, it's not plasma, but the gases I created here are emitting a very, very strong field. So a powerful field than this one, what I have felt so far is the deuterium gases field.
You know what I mean? It's really earlier to think about this disc shape reactors, what Mr. Keshe last week taught about. But it's beautiful to think before he give us the real image of it, because we will have a wide spectrum of thinking.
Yes, I think I need to see again the workshop of last week and understand about the disk reactors and how to build them, and to, for the start, to imagine how the field looks, and then to convince myself if my intuition is right or wrong. Regarding this MAGRAV, of course, there were some drawings earlier. They were representing somehow a toroidal shape, and indeed, the most powerful field was on top of the MAGRAV, and less powerful on the sides. So if you put your hand where is the plate now, maybe upper or a bit lower, doesn't matter really. It's yes, like this. So where the lines meet,
Exactly.
on top, it's very, very powerful.
Exactly, and
So
it's like a wind.
Yes, and it's passing through your hand. If you put your hand there, it's very powerful.
Yes.
But the somehow strange thing was that you don't feel just energized while sitting next to it, but you feel joyful and very happy without any reason.
If you want to energize what you have above, you need to create a demand down. If you create demand down, whatever it's above field, it will go back down, and this will circulate the field, and you will feel it without touching it.
Mm-hmm. Can you give me please an example of a demand?
Okay, what you have in above, what kind of material?
It's in the balls, inside the balls.
Let's say above the balls.
Above the balls, in this plate, for example.
Yes.
Let's take the following example. We have some fruit.
Okay.
Grape, right?
Okay. If you take a little one drop of this fruit, a gans, and put it in the
bottom.
In the bottom.
Okay.
Then what you will have? You will have ingredients.
Yes, because the bottom side is the input, and in the top is the output.
Yeah, and
right. So what?
When the fields go out, it have to give to the lowest. What is your lowest is down, so
yes.
It will give back to the lowest. In that way, your field will go back to your MAGRAV, and in this condition, this circulative field, it will go to you.
Yes, I understand. And also, probably the information of what you put at the input side is somehow stored into the capacitors as well, right? At least for a while. So if you
or put one of them down, the same strength of this is also ganses, you know, this is also plasma. So actually you don't need to make it ganses.
Of course, there can be anything, but if it emits any fields, because you cannot put there, let's say, a coin of some value, because that has very, very low fields, very, how to say, low power fields. But
Try it because you are there and it is beside you. Try it.
Yeah. But for example, if I use my hand or a person's hand or a fruit or a living organism that has a complex structure and fields, of course, you'll have something to circulate through the maggrav and have actually something at the output of it. That would be, I believe, very much amplified. It's just an assumption.
Do it. And then, it will not be assumption.
Yeah, I can hardly wait to get it out from the caustic steam.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much as well. Thank you. So if there are any other questions, or I should let somebody else continue with other presentation.
This nanocoat, this plate, this support of garden, is nanocoat also?
I believe it was nano-coated during the production of GANs, because the raw copper, after creating the coils, was connected to the supports, and then put to nanocoat. So there were nano-coated together, all the stacker.
Which means you have a supply of CH. Plastic, no? Nanocoat. It's behavior like, I don't know, carbon is free deuterium and hydrogen is hydrogen. You create a gradient between these, making another field.
I can explain the gradient immediately, but first what I need to mention is, first I created the stackers, right? I used the raw copper coils connected with this, I would say, plastic support, right? Then put it into caustic, created the caustic nano coating, then let it a few weeks to get dry and let the nano layers to grow. Afterwards, I have created that composite GANs reactor for all of the maggrav stackers, but I used one at a time, right? So first I used this stacker in the middle to create that composite GANs with the procedure I have described a bit earlier. So I used the battery that was a bit lower power, so it was used before. At the minus, I have connected the stacker, and on the plus of the battery, I have put zinc coil, copper coil, and zinc coated iron. So there, the gas that resulted was a mixture of all of the gases, the main four gases that eventually was stored inside the nano layers. So after getting the stacker out and leaving it to get dry, and by rinsing it, when it was dried, you were able to see not only this how to say, GANs coating on it, but there were also crystals, I believe. It's something that Angelo did as well. I will try to find another picture. Maybe it's a bit more explicit. I don't know if you are able to see. There are small dots that are small sparkles, I think. Not sure if it's because of the salt or something else, but it definitely is very, very nice looking coating in reality, where you are looking it with your own eyes. And I did this process for all of the free stackers, and this GANs I have collected. It was a lot of GANs. It was a mixture of gases, and I have done the following. A part of it I have mixed with two little spoons of sugar. So I used a bit of sugar to create a mix and to create a bit of acidity of the gas, which I have put in the upper bowl. The lower bowl is filled with only with the gas that I have collected from the complex nano coating. This complex nano coating I have done in the following way. I have used the same, a battery, that was a used battery. On the minus of the battery I have connected the stacker, or the copper coils for the capacitors. And on the plus I have connected the same zinc coil, iron coil that was covered by zinc layer, and the simple copper coil. And the mix was 40 grams of caustic at 4 liters of water, and 20 grams of salt. So it was a caustic condition inside by nano coating reactor. So you see, even these coils have a bit of nano coating with gas inside the nano layers as well. And the resulting gas was in a dark color, but maybe darkish gray to black. It was a very, very dark color. And I believe it was a very strong gravitational and alkaline gas. So I have used this gas in the lower stacker ball, and in the ball between them I have used a mixture of this black gas and the gas above it, in order to create this, in my idea, to create a flow from the third one to the one in the top.
Thank you, Marius, for answering.
You're welcome. I think everything I have explained makes sense.
Yes, a lot. Because my opinion, that is my point of view. You are create in the base demand from capacitors, and up you have the universe. You have the layer in between. You catch in this field. It's not gradient so bigger from these three balls, or the balls and the coil. In this moment, I see like one reactor is not a free play. It's like a one reactor between two bigger.
Okay, so which is the one reactor, and which are the two bigger?
The universe, the sun, and earth. Between you and your soul. Between you and the others. because you're standing in the middle of this field. And where is the boundary? It's outside, it communicates, it interacts. I don't know, it's my point of view.
Yes, it's an interesting point of view. Well, that was actually my intention from the beginning, to benefit of the fields of it by feeding my body, my soul, my entire being. And I'm asking it actually in my mind to teach me more, to let me discover more about it, and to let me understand more of it, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that we all need to discover at this MAGRAPH units. Most of us, I believe, are interested in obtaining energy or power reduction or consumption reduction and pay less bills, but it's not the case with this one.
Can I ask a question, Marius?
Yes, please.
The third sticker and above, the exit of it, where it goes?
It's anywhere. This exit, it's in the air, as you see.
Okay.
And same the other part of the batteries, same, is in the air. So they are not connected to anything at this moment. No, actually, it's in the back. I don't think I have a picture of it, but what I think you can see, it's not very clear, but it's on the top. This one here, it's the output of the upper stacker, and it's in the air. It's not connected to anything.
Okay. Can you bring it back to the middle stacker?
This one?
Yeah. To the entry of the second one. That mean you feed it to itself again. This one will boost your energy.
Create feedback.
Yes, yes.
Like
You feed it back to the middle. It will boost your energy. You will not lose anything, and you will notice how much strong it will be.
It's not like a looping exit with entry, only in the middle.
The idea is maybe by the end of this week to connect some plugs and to connect this MAGRAPH to itself and to recirculate this energy again from the top to the capacitors and then to the lower, middle, and upper stackers again, and recirculate it infinitely. And I'm not sure if it's gathering more and more and more energy. I need to test it. I'm not sure.
This is the teaching of Mr. Keshe.
Yes, it was at the end of the teaching of last week. At least one of them.
And before.
And before, yes.
Start with 149, 169, 66. It's from beginning.
Yes, it's from beginning.
Yes, I know. I have seen a lot of workshops from the beginning, even from 2014. That was 4 years and so ago. So actually, I want to congratulate everybody being with Mr. Keshe since the beginning, and I would like to congratulate Rick for hosting all these years. And Flint,
Well,
and
thank you, yes. Yes,
And don't forget, we are waiting for Rick. We will see what he will come with next week.
Yes, the pressure's on here. I have to start producing something.
Maybe I give you some idea.
I've got lots of ideas already. The problem is narrowing them down. But yes, I'm open to hearing more to clarify. Do you want to say something now about that?
I did to say to Marius about this disk shape reactor. If you see this black barrier, what he put, this give me the idea. You need only to contain these fields. How you contain these fields, and you aim it which direction you want. But actually without the balls, because the balls now it's only receiving.
Well, another way to look at it is, instead of containing the fields, what if the fields contain themselves, but the problem is to separate the fields? And maybe the separator or the plate can be like an insulator between the fields, so you have fields rotating one way and one side and the other way on the other side, and then they can.
For this reason, I asked him if you nano-code.
Exactly. And you make an open, and from this open, you target the way the field will go out.
For next week, I try to make a free disc, only painting this ring.
And you need to think, guys. You need to think. Whatever you do, it's 100% is right. Whatever you do, whatever you think, and this is the purpose from all this knowledge, that you think to do whatever comes to your mind. Exactly when I think about the disc from the beginning when Mr. Keshe speak about it, and I have something ideas in my head, but today I'm going to do the same building here, but without the balls, and I will dictate where the field will go, because I will contain the fields. How I contain the fields, all of us, maybe we have some ideas by nano-coating plates.
of course, understanding in the deeper sense of the word and the knowledge will lead us to an infinite amount of possibilities and ideas. This is one reason why I need to see again the last workshop.
Yeah, you know, guys, what is the knowledge is that you do not copy. The beauty that you think and you do, there is no such a thing is wrong. When you do, you open doors in your mind to receive, and this is the beauty. What you done here, lot of us, not I done it before, but lot of knowledge seekers, they do not do. They only waiting for someone to do. But if you done something, if you done guns, if you done maggraph, if you done reactors, this is the beauty, because this what you done is you are creator. This thing what you done, it will grow because it will add for someone and you will add for it. And this is the beauty in that. And this is what Mr. Keshe asking all the time, that we do. Because if you don't like this maggraph, maybe it needs only to make only one move in it and it will be perfect. It's not wrong. whatever you do, he said, all your MAGRAPH is working, all of it, whatever you done with it, all of it, it's working. But from 1 to million, how you make it in the correct way, you will benefit from it. I mean, you will see the result. So it's not wrong.
Of course, and I have already seen the results after 1 day of using it. So if I am asked, actually I was asked if I got any power consumption reduction, my answer is I don't care, because it's not the purpose why I build it. It's for something else. And
I built one. I have 90% reduction in electricity, and I take it out. And if I show you in the camera, it's I put it outside there. I take it out from the grid because it wasn't the purpose that I reduced the consumption of electricity. The purpose was to make.
of course, but it was another proof that it works, right?
Yes,
yes. For you, at least.
Yes. Good, beautiful testimonial, sweet, beautiful. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, all of you.
Yes,
Right.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Another idea.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello, go ahead.
Okay. No, I just wanted to say just the Earth was just that piece of space debris until it got that 5-degree angle, and that changed everything.
Good point, Mark. Good point. Thomas, you have your microphone open there as well.
At last you speak, Mark, at last.
But he speaks well, short, concise, and to the point.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thomas,
I didn't unmute me, but I guess someone else did.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure.
But that's all right. I wanted to ask the creator of this beautiful MAGRAPH. I made a similar setup, and it just so happened to show the field flow, and I had a apple next to a nano-coated, it was a hollow refrigerator tube, and it was in a, I guess a phi spiral. And I noticed after just placing an apple there, I came back a few days later, and the side where the apple was towards the coil was completely rotten. It was almost fermented, and then the other half of the apple was still normal. And I was just wondering if you noticed any preservation or any deterioration with the food that you've been using with this.
Wow. Definitely, I did not test it for that long. It was maximum of 1 day.
Okay.
We're putting that plate of grapes and pear on top. So in a few hours, I could see the difference in the taste. It was sweeter than usual. And of course, a similar result I had while putting the grapes inside CO2 gas water. So what I have concluded at that time was fruits and vegetables are somehow accelerating their wiping process. But after a while, if you leave them too much time in the plasma water, they get rotten. So you need to get them out at the optimal time, let's say, at the right time to benefit.
Yeah, and I think the reason why mine was absorbing the fields from the apple more is because I used caustic to nano-coat the copper, and I think if I used a fire nano-coating, I think it actually would have preserved it. But that was just a little interesting experiment that I didn't plan to do, but I just noticed that there was a clear effect from just a simple nano-coated copper spiral even. So
Indeed, but it definitely worth trying with both caustic and fire coating. And the same one thing I have noticed again with lemonade done with just one lemon and CO2 gas water. It's very, very good for a few hours, but after staying too many time and while not consuming it, at the end of the day, it gets how to say, the lemon, it gets broken. Not broken, it changes the taste and not
fermented, kind of. Fermented is a word,
yes.
or
Yes. Have you tried it?
no?
But
I know what lemon is like when it's not fresh anymore. It tends to it go off in the air, basically. Yeah.
Oh, I have one suggestion that Mr. Keshe commented on a setup that I had, and just making sure that you have some airspace between the base of your system to the table, because that table is more or less shielding some of the field flow. So if you were to make a little few legs on it and sort of bump it up a bit, you would increase that circulation you're looking for.
Oh, thanks for the suggestion. Maybe the final construction that will have some sort of case, and on top maybe some powering light bulb or LED will have some legs. Do you recommend any distance or length of the height of the legs? 5 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 10 centimeters?
Yeah, when Mr. Keshe commented on it, he didn't give a specific measurement or ratio, but I would think if you were to go half the distance between the total unit, I think that would be a safe bet. That's like that's like a harmonic ratio. So that would be, I think, enough clearance.
Okay, so half of the height of this construction.
You can hanging with a rope, like in 1 meter. How to feel?
Yeah, there are many solutions to that. I can use screws and a case, and it's easily done.
And of course, the legs are nano-coated if you're going to use legs.
Okay, maybe the entire case, of course, can be nano-coated. Just a thought. Because I'm intending to put the legs on the case.
I think, of course, it needs to be not all nano-coated, and then you do not have any interaction or interfere from another fields. But there is one thing, there is too much information here. Let me tell you one thing, and this is all the time Mr. Keshe telling you or telling us. I made a man in the image of myself. What you done there, it's you. You understand?
Yes.
This magraph, it's you. So if you put anything above it, what you think, it will appear there. If you think this apple or this tropin or anything, it will rot. It will rot. If you think this apple will not rot, it will not rot. You need to understand this is your creation. That is mean you.
Of course.
With all the fields, it's helping you only.
Yes, and Actually, it concludes my understanding at this point in time. And actually, thanks to Angelo, because part of understanding I have gathered from him. And thanks to Mr. Keshe again, because all the understanding comes from him. So
You have it, the understanding, but we all helping each other to understand it.
yes, and thanks for that.
Thank you,
Right. I think this is the representation in the matter state, although it does create fields and it does serve, it's a representation of the non-dimensional, non-tangible reactors, which is you.
Yes.
Well said, Mark, well said.
Yes, well said, and perhaps it's a good way to sort of wrap things up here. I think we need to probably tie it up for today. I see that Waldemir has put in the chat several times the idea of using a double tetrahedron or double pyramid with the three coil reactors at each point. So you'd have 8 or 12 or 8 or 10 of these reactors. And he says, can we place a MagGrav or 3-stacker unit at the edges of a 3D Star of David formation? So 8 or 10 of them. Well, certainly you can. You might find that building 8 or 10 of those units will take you quite a bit of time and money to do. But certainly you can do that. That would be, I think people have talked about that. And John Bliven has done formations of reactors, and others have done pyramids and so on with reactors. But it takes a lot to do that. You have to have the space, you have to have the time and energy and money to put it all together. And even then, there's at least 1 million billion ways to do just that simple formation. While relatively simple double tetrahedron formation, there's just the combination of ganses applied to the coils alone could run into the thousands or millions of variations. So we look forward to what you would like to do, Waldemir. Maybe you'd like to make something and show it here next time. Okay, there we go. And we have a video from Pia I think we're going to have a look at next time. And I think we'll wrap things up for today. It's been great. Thank you for everybody for presenting various aspects of the plasma technology today. And I think it's been enlightening for all of us, and invigorating and inspiring as well. So this has been the 23rd public meeting for Testimonials, where you share your plasma experience in any language, as we have seen here today. And I'm your host, Rick Kremen. We've had Flint here as well as Danny. And I believe that completes our show for today. And I think Flint has a video to go out on here. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your presence here in the today's meeting.
Hello. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on Earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. keshefoundation.org/donate.
Plasma products
Found at keshefoundation.org/store. Soothing, reusable plasma eye and migraine mask. Eliminate eye fatigue and relieve stress in eye area. European certified medical device. Massaging plasma insoles. Bring comfort back to your feet and energize your legs. European CE certified medical device. Antiseptic plasma liquid hand soap. Promotes well-being and relaxation with protective plasma formula. CE certified. One Soul Plasma T-shirt. GAN's formula within the symbols and stripes brings mind, soul, and body into balance. European certified. Pain Relief Pen. Emits a concentrated plasma field at point of pain, efficient up to 3 centimeters below the skin. CE certified. The Magrav's Energizer and Alkalizer raises pH and energizes water through magnetic and gravitational fields. CE certified medical device. Pain Relief Pad, a result of years of research in nanoplasma technology with magnetic and gravitational fields. CE certified medical device. Visit the online store at keshefoundation.org/store or find a distributor near you. Tax and shipping not included.